We're welcoming back college football analyst Joe Gavazzi, and we all know Joe is that guy that just shows up every day and does his job. Joe's got the big Lone Ranger play of the week, which has done nothing but been profitable this whole season. Florida and Alabama, and I myself am interested to see why Joe thinks Florida, with those points, is going to cover and make another successful Lone Ranger play of the week. Joe, first and foremost, happy holidays. Glad you're back with us. What is it that makes you believe that Florida's going to do the deal this week along with the points and cover your Lone Ranger of the week?
Really? I wrote up Florida for this game? How could anybody ever bet Florida in this game? You saw last week, obliterated by arch rival Florida State. 2 weeks ago, taken to overtime by lowly Florida Atlantic. 4 games this season with quarterback Harris that controls barely 14 points a game. This does not look good for the Gators, and America knows it. Consider the fact that Saban is 22-10 against the spread, laying more than 2 TDs against conference opponents, that they've won 9 consecutive games since the loss to Ole Miss, that their defense is probably the best in the nation at just 14 points a game, and they have a steamroller of their own in the backfield and running back Henry, who just was a machine running against Auburn last week. Very, very tough to pick against this Alabama team, and so the public believes. We will conversely, and in a very contrary way, line up with those Florida Gators and their super D of their own at 14 points a game and take Florida plus the more than generous 17 points as our Lone Ranger contrary play of the week.
Wow, Joe, that's there's some things you mentioned with Florida. You just took the words out of my mouth because, yeah, they got manhandled last week against Florida State. And, 2 weeks ago against, I think it was FAU, one of them small, I think it was FAU, took them to overtime. And I just haven't seen an explosion. And what my hesitancy is that last year, I remember just how bad Florida was. And, they've certainly turned it around. But is it enough going into Bama with 17? 9 in a row, Bama has won. Blowout last year, 42-21. And it really hasn't been close the last 4 times they've met. So I'm anxious and interested to see how this will turn out. I'm kind of a Saban fan myself. I'm not going to bet on the game. I'm going to kick back and enjoy it as a fan. But I have interest to see if we can pull off another Lone Ranger of the week. Joe, thank you so much for being back with us. We look forward to talking to you again shortly. And again, happy holidays, beat the book, and be profitable.